Archangel Michael. And Divine Complement, One Taken One Left, Timelines to Split, March 17, 2017. Christine, channelers are emissaries of the higher beings who channel messages through them. The introduction to Archangel Michael's message, in which he confirms the truth of an announcement made by himself through Michael Love, about the significance of the date March 20, 2017, is a message from his divine complement Archangel Faith, who has used a different method of channeling than his own in this case. And as usual, through myself, as I receive telepathic communications from the archangels, as well as ascended masters, which can be word for word in a way that, I have no knowledge of what will be said at the end of these words, or by a stream of thought forms. A form of telepathy that is without words. And that I experience in meditation in the presence of the archangels, or of my ascended twin flame, Andre, can also take place. I have been declared by them to be a messenger for the Great White Brotherhood. And have channeled messages that have been published on videos by Matt McElroy. These messages have been from my I Am Presence, as well as Lord Sanat Kumara, the Master Jesus, Saint Germain, Mother Mary, Archangel Uriel, and Gabriel. All of this is being said because telepathic communication will one day become a common ability. And those about to discover they are able to receive telepathic communication from the higher dimensions will benefit from the information. What immediately follows is what Archangel Faith communicated to me.
Archangel Faith. It would be important to explain that disclosure is still part of the timeline that takes us to the recreation of Gaia, as well as a final shift to fifth density. This shift, in a sense, will be what many expected to happen in 2012, but the plan was stretched at the time to give more opportunities to a vast section of mankind. We had waves of light. And energy irradiated to the light bearers in a portal, or stargate. And the light that should have stripped mankind of all that is less than Christ consciousness in an instant, was diffused by technology, that of the Blue Avians. As stated before, so progress was more lengthy. 3 waves of souls were elevated by the photonic effect of this light between September 2015 and the end of 2016, when a victory was achieved against the establishment, or ex-establishment, that was doing the work of the demonic forces that have been controlling the world, or should we say, the Satan of biblical scriptures. This victory of light took place after a great struggle of words and media narratives, during and after the race for the elections of a new president, whom Archangel Michael declared to be the only one, the only person, to be in a position to be able to oppose this establishment of dark forces. He told you that it was Donald Trump who would be elected president in a series of prophecies that started to occur in February 2016. Furthermore, he stated that Donald Trump was placed in this position to fulfill ancient prophecies, as well as to carry out the work of Saint Germain to restore a golden age upon earth, which is tantamount of a manifestation of heaven upon earth. Saint Germain's objective is to establish prosperity in the nation, to abolish the effects of the politics and financial system that have been keeping mankind in bondage to the dark forces. These created this system as far back as in the Babylonian era, thousands of years ago. And you know that in the book of Revelation, Babylon is symbolic of their entire world domination, their power, and the systems that they have been using. Saint Germain announced in 2016 that the World Mother used the ruby ray to dethrone this power. It was published in the video Mother Dethrones Babylon. The new president of the USA is viewed by a great many Christians as an emissary as well as a dragon slayer, a man chosen by Almighty God to bring about the abolishment of evil prophesied in their scriptures. Understand that the end times prophecies in the book of Revelation are clearly predicting an end of evil, and not an end of the world, despite the apocalyptic scenarios depicted in it. The term apocalypse, as has been pointed out before, is revealed in its Greek etymology, to be composed of kalypso, a verb meaning to hide. Apocalypse actually means a revelation of what is hidden. And this term does not have the sense of some terrible catastrophes that could bring the world to an end. This is in relation to the term disclosure. And it also is something that will continue to take place gradually. People's views have changed as a result of the advent of the new presidency. A lot of people have adapted to new concepts. There are reasons why Archangel Michael fashioned his sword of blue flame. He did this in Lemurian days when the laggards of Maldek were given permission to incarnate upon this platform of life. These old souls had remained in physicality in the conditions of a declining world that was eventually destroyed. They were in connection with the tail of the dragon Lucifer that was cast on earth. This one has already received his final judgment many decades ago. They were fallen angels who rose to power, and were involved in creating the Atlantean supremacy with an agenda of world conquest. Fortunately, they were stopped in their track of destruction but caused the downfall of an entire civilization, and many cataclysms. The process of ascension had to be aborted, and the spectrum of consciousness of mankind had to be reduced after those catastrophes to avoid a premature use of psychic powers, as these incarnated souls had misused the power they had genetically inherited from their fathers. All hell broke loose at the end of the Lemurian age as told in Genesis 6. That progeny had become experts in black magic, and possessed advanced technology. They were prevented from incarnating for some thousands of years so that mankind could recover and rebuild civilization. They were held in chains in the bottomless pits symbolic of the astral realms. Then they were allowed to reappear sometime before Christ incarnated to hold a balance of light in the world. He, the Master Jesus, initiated the removal of this satanic prince of the world, these renegades of Maldek, who had risen to power, and benefited from the experience they had gained in the material world by comparison to the inhabitants, that had spiritually evolved to a higher degree, but were inexperienced in evil ways. The same dark powers rose to power once again in the new period of history, and created civilization in the ancient model they had known on Maldek. This is the reason that a decline in civilization has occurred once again, especially with the chaos they caused during this last decade. The time has come for the harvest that was prophesied. One taken, the other left. However, the one taken is not the one who will experience a rapture in energetic terms. No, the one taken is the dark one, who has been judged to not be worthy of the kingdom of heaven that will be manifesting upon earth. The one who remains is the one who will work to manifest it, as well as the golden age. America had the destiny of being an example to other nations with its constitution and democratic principles. The right conditions will be restored by the one sent for this mission.
Christine, this was for an introduction to the subject. And Archangel Michael continued, dictating to me.
Archangel Michael, you have noticed the method of thought transmission takes place more prominently when you are in meditation, on with a pen in your right hand to take down our messages. And when you compose texts and type, Andre, your twin flame of higher dimension, is on standby to provide the terms and sentences with an ability that you know you do not possess, as your mother tongue is French. And despite the many years of studies you have carried out, even at research level. This will give the listeners an idea of what is happening in regards the integration of the higher selves to take dominion in the process of ascension. Remember, a number of souls can share a same higher self, as the latter can have a number of incarnations, that we call soul extensions. We have previously imparted some teachings about the matter that archaic beings have consolidated into one or the other of the polarities which have symbolically been represented as father or mother, or in other words, have consolidated the gender in which they send emissaries of themselves.
Christine, please refer to previous videos with channeled messages by myself that explain and approach this aspect of the mystery of selfhood, with details about how we are a projection of consciousness from the higher selves through our etheric, mental, emotional, and physical vehicles, that can also be called lower bodies. My I Am Presence has repeated these concepts on 3 occasions. Above these vehicles exists the celestial counterpart we left upon the higher dimensions when we came into incarnation. And it is where Christ consciousness, or higher consciousness, is situated. The Christed self is beyond change, karmic returns, and within the realm of immortality. We have to integrate this body of light and righteousness to achieve ascension. Our destiny is to recover our original spectrum of consciousness, the one that is being born in us by communion with our higher selves, and our I Am Presence. Archangel Michael has given me a message in the method of word-for-word dictation, today, on March 17th, as follows.
Archangel Michael, dear ones, I have been asked to confirm the announcement concerning this ominous date of March 20, 2017. This is when you begin to walk your way upon one of the timelines, or the other, indeed. It is but the beginning of a process of selection, as a result of a judgment having taken place through a testing procedure, a judgment of the Dark Ones, those arch-deceivers of a primeval time, beings or laggards, who have been given multiple chances to reform themselves, to bend the knee to the light. The judgment of scriptures always was in relation to the fallen ones, and not for mankind in possession of the connection to the I Am Presence. We have offered the Dark Ones deals, and taught them. They have plotted in secret to activate their agenda of conspiracies to defeat the forces of the light, and continue to keep mankind in a bondage to their corrupt systems. It's been said before, enough is enough. We are now rejoicing because the obstruction to restore life to beautiful conditions are soon going to be in the process of being actualized. We will forge ahead. I confirm through Christine, who is one of the emissaries of my divine complement, Archangel Faith, that the population of Earth will be split upon 2 different timelines, as Michael Love has stated. The timelines will be 2 different routes that will create distance between those who travel upon them. Only one of them will take those travelers, or initiates, to the kingdom of heaven that will be manifested upon earth, and in physicality. That is the path of righteousness which I am asking you to decide to choose. Determine that you will take this path, just as the knights of a foregone age used to take an oath to seek the Grail, and perfection of being in the age of chivalry. There are many souls among your families, and loved ones that may not have the knowledge and understanding that you have, you who are listening to this message. But do not worry for them, as they have been indoctrinated but have a good heart. They will wake up upon that timeline leading to a better future thanks to your good work, as well as perseverance with your prayers and spiritual practices. The indoctrination has been everywhere, and from various sources, even from childhood education. Disclosure will continue to awaken all of you. The suppression of truths will become apparent to you, and to them, in increasingly greater measure. And your eyes in consciousness will, from now on, be tremendously more remarkable without the nefarious influence of the powers of darkness, these satanic ones which I take upon myself to slay and eradicate from your existence. I will leave it to this for now, but will come back to give more understanding very soon. My protection is with you, and I am with you always.
Christine, I asked Archangel Michael a question as follows: is this a gradual process in respect of the removal of the dark ones?
Archangel Michael, the removal of this darkness is, and has been taking place in a gradual manner because so many souls were entangled in the dark pyramid of control of these satanic ones. We had to free them. And this caused some changes in the way of their perception and general views, especially with regard to political policies and strategies, which caused wars and prevented peace. From March 20th, we benefit from the Council's heavenly decree to remove these dark powers and satanic forces, and I will slay their core, that ancient entity which is a collective of evil. The removal of that core is the removal of a vortex of power that has an influence upon the souls that are still dwelling in the lowest regions of the ladder of consciousness, and that do not have the discernment of what is right or wrong, or that just obey orders, and that still need to awaken to the reality of the conspiracies that exist in the background of the political intrigues and machinations that appear to them to simply be an acceptable way of controlling the affairs of the world.
Christine, what about the people who have no notion nor any understanding of what has been going on, and are indoctrinated with mainstream notions? Will this affect which timeline they will be allowed to be on?
Archangel Michael, those souls still need to be awakened. Sometime it is by a game of circumstances that they have not awakened to the suppressed truths. The indoctrination has been strong. They are the victims, not the guilty party. They sometime are so absorbed in the constant battle of earning a living that it has not been possible for them to take time to devote themselves to some learning, or even investigation. And they just take the news from the media, which they don't realize is owned by the same arch-deceivers who have done a good job of controlling their mind. Sometime their physical condition has not permitted it. They may be sick or have reached an old age. They may be functioning as earth keepers, looking not only after their families in a simple way, but also after animals and the land, or growing food. Or their job may be in the building industries, or a number of other jobs which keep them busy, and slaves to the systems of the world, which the arch-deceivers have imposed upon them to control them. They may even be scientists, or in the armies, believing they are being driven by patriotic idealism. In them is a potential for the kind of life that the kingdom of heaven on earth will bring. They may not react well if you try and present your concepts and understanding of this subject to them, so do not attempt to enlighten them about it, it would only cause division. But rather, put it in the hands of the angelic hosts, who will lead them by the hand to the truth. Pray for them, rather than challenge them in an intellectual way. And always remain loving and understanding if they find out about your interest. Beliefs are no so important as the heart and love. Broadcast love, as we have said before. Disclosure will still be taking place, as it is inevitable that many stones will not remain unturned in the geopolitical arena. Disclosure will lead to the truth that has been said to make you free. And it is indeed a freedom from bondage to the dark arch-deceivers, or evil archons, that the mystical body of God in physicality will be liberated from. The freedom of the violet flame which Saint Germain, brings to mankind will also cause a solution to appear in order to eradicate global problems, but do invoke it as much as possible. Look around you, look within you as well, for change is taking place. And rejoice, for we have been waiting a long time, so to speak, for this eschatological development. The removal of darkness, and of all manners of counterfeit creations by these beings who have also attempted to carry out impostures of the ascended masters, and infiltrate erroneous notions within the ranks of the light workers, will not take place in an instant. No, I have to clarify this. The timelines will be made to diverge on that date given, and the process that will follow from this will be gradual. However, if you are looking for proof, you will discover with some inspection, that various strange events, or occurrences, will have taken place after that date. And that the world of science will have received an impetus, in an accelerated way towards a delivery of technologies which were previously withheld from the public arena. They are of the type that can benefit mankind, for instance for medical purposes, to provide healing for conditions that were not curable before, and even to achieve a regeneration, such as turning back the clocks for the physical structure. Two types of human beings have been sharing this platform of life since antiquity. As you have heard, one is not DNA stranded in the same way as the other. And the dark ones did not absorb the light, so their genetic structure has not been modified in preparation for the kingdom of heaven, which some call the fifth kingdom, or the fifth dimension, and others the fifth density. They have created artificial intelligence, beings that appear human but have been known as mechanization man. These have been around for longer than generally known, with the clones of the genetic laboratories that the rising fall on Atlantis has created. The human being of the fourth kingdom is destined to be metamorphosed into the fifth kingdom's physical angels beyond the golden age of Saint Germain. It's the right time to bring back to your memory the fact that Saint Germain is the hierarch of the Aquarian age, whose work of prosperity and peace, as well as of liberation, is being carried out by the designated teams of the new president, who was placed in the unique position in which he was able to awaken to his sacred mission, that of being able to oppose the dark powers and overturn their work, as well as lead you all to a prophesied destiny. I confirm the decree from Almighty Go's Council of Heaven to separate timelines into two directions. And I say that the higher dimensions are rejoicing, for this is the beginning of a period when great wonders will manifest upon this platform of life. I remain with you always as Archangel Michael, the defender of the woman clothed with the sun, and of the psyche, in battle.
Christine, I hope this has given you a broad view of the situation. We are now at a fork on the pathway which leads to a better world. The obstacles that we have encountered to raise the vibrations of this world are going to disappear. Wishing you to be kept safe and secure in the light of the Ascended Masters and the Archangels. Christine.